What's up, Hair Loss World? David here with Micro Pig SMP, discussing the importance of being conservative when depositing your pigments. Now, if you see here, these impressions are overly rich, they're too dark, and that's why they were prone to discoloration. As the pigment subsides, light waves that penetrate a little bit deeper, your blues and your greens, reflect back to the eye, okay? Now, darker skin complexions have better protection against discoloration, okay? Lighter skin complexions don't, okay? They're not, so you have to be very conservative when you make these pigment deposits. Now, unfortunately, the company that did this treatment was me. I did this when I first started off. I didn't use the right size gauge needle, especially in the front. In the front, I was supposed to use either a smaller gauge 3 round liner than what I did at the time, or a 1 round liner in the very front, and I didn't do that. So now, the problem was, now I was having to correct the hairline, because now I got, I'm more experienced, and I saw some of the imperfections, so we corrected the hairline, but now I have a new problem. That old technique, I'm not using it anymore. So now I have to make sure that the new hairline blends well with what he currently has. And that was a little bit difficult. He had to come back for his touch-up. He had to come back for a second session just for his touch-up because I did a bad job the first time. Okay, so I want you guys to learn from my experience. We can't go too dark. Now, if you look at this next example, right? This guy's a lighter skin complexion, and as you can see here, I was way more conservative when it came to making these deposits, okay? So now, as time passes on, he's not going to have to worry about discolorment because his impressions aren't overly rich and prone to discoloration, especially in accordance with his skin tone, okay? Again, certain skin tones have better protection against UV light. Lighter skin tones are more prone to discoloration. It's not the pigment that's actually discoloring, it's just subsiding more into the skin, and the light waves that are reflecting back to you are the ones that penetrate the deepest, and that tends to be your blue and your green hues, okay? So, again, I'm not just showing you my A's and my B's on my report card. I got to show you the F's. I want you guys to learn from my mistakes so you won't have to encounter these problems. Now, the second thing that I would like to add to this video before signing off, in the worst case scenario, if you don't have a company that you can refer your clients to for laser removal, even clients that have gone to another company or another SMP company and they got messed up and they want you to fix it, in some cases you might have to send them to a laser facility. And even if it's a mess up that you did when you first started off, you want to protect your name. Okay, you don't want to be known as that company that does bad work. Okay, and if you do happen to make a mistake, we're all humans, especially when you're starting off, make sure you pay for their laser treatment. Fortunately, I've only had to, out of the 5 years that I've been doing SMP, I've only had to pay for laser treatment twice. Okay, and the second one, I feel like it wasn't really my fault, but I paid for it anyway. But the first one was definitely my fault, and I had to pay for that. But I was able to redo it and make it better. So again, just wanted to let you guys know about that. And and so for clients who are wondering about pigments and stuff, listen, there's a whole marketing ploy out there for the kind of pigments being used, and it's confusing everybody, especially artists. Some artists might use a certain pigment and then they see it discolor later down the line and they don't know what's going on because 9 times out of 10 they didn't get the proper training, okay? Unfortunately, I didn't follow protocol because when I started off, I just kind of jumped into the game. So I really had to learn through trial and error. And so, and through trial and error and doing my due diligence and learning from other companies, I was able to establish, a pretty good conception of how this works. And I'll tell you right now, it has little to do with the pigment. It has everything to do with the technique. Okay, all black pigment is made out of only 3 ingredients, and it's usually a carbon base, and alcohol is a carrier. Okay, so carbon base, it's a carbon soot, and you'll have like alcohol or distilled water, or a combination of both as the carrier. So, it is all about the application. So thank you guys for tuning in. Signing out.